to that kind of thing.
18 till the hour, talking with John Stossel here on the Iverson Morning Program. His program on the Fox Business Network is on at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Then they rerun it, right?
They do. It's actually moved to 10 p.m. to make room for Lou Dobbs, but 10 p.m. on Thursday.
Oh, okay. How do you like Lou? How do you think he's doing?
I like him. We'd had a fight before we came here, and he called me names, and I called him anti-immigration, anti-free trade. But
did he think you were Hispanic or what? Although his wife is Hispanic, by the way. So.
He called me that little twit or something. He doesn't know anything. But the beauty of Fox is that I've been on his show. He's been on mine. We've argued about this stuff. It's the open
But you still hate him. So.
No, I like him more now.
Yeah. Well, that was unnecessary, Lou, to be taking out our new best friend, wasn't it, Bernie?
Totally.
Yeah.
But right in character.
So you're a Ron Paul supporter?
Yes.
Because I was just making fun of Chris Wallace for having him on. I mean, I guess it's fine, but what do you like about Mr. Paul, Congressman Paul?
I'm a libertarian. I believe in limited government. He and Gary Johnson are the only presidential candidates who are upfront about that. So I'm for them.
I was in New Mexico, of course. We lived there about 4 or 5 months a year. When Gary Johnson was the governor, that was an interesting time.
He vetoed 700 bills, saved you money,
but
left you free.
But he spent half his time smoking dope and climbing mountains, so...
Climbing mountains. He says people should be allowed to smoke dope, but he says he doesn't.
Well, okay, so neither does Willie. You're for legalizing drugs and prostitution?
Yes.
Okay, tell me why.
Because adults should be able to do whatever they want with other consenting adults. If football players can rent their bodies out or boxers for money, why can't a sex worker? If people want to poison themselves with cigarettes or heroin, you should be free to do that once you're an adult. And the laws don't work. The drug war is worse than the drugs. It drives it all underground, where the crime is 100 times worse than the drug. I mean, we're destroying whole countries like Mexico.
So you think you should be able to go to the store and buy cocaine? And
yes. I mean, that terrifies people. But if you look at the data, there's something like 8 million people who've tried even crack, and 500,000 who have used it during the last month. So 95% of them try it and give it up on their own. It doesn't make people permanently addicted and as crazy as much as the media make it out to be.
Yeah. Talking with John Stossel. It's 15 minutes to the hour here on the Iverson in the Morning program. And Bernie tells me you want to stop all foreign aid?
Yes. The country, if you want to give it to another country, there should be charities that do that, but it's not the job of the taxpayer to fund other countries.
It's like when you loan money to a friend or your relatives. So they wind up resenting you. First of all, they don't pay you back. And 9 times out of 10, they wind up resenting you. So.
And we've propped up a lot of tyrannical governments. We've given all this money to Africa. The people who are in charge of the country steal it, buy fancy cars, put it in Swiss bank accounts.
But in a real world, which we are in, how do we make friends without buying them?
We trade with people. There's an expression: when goods cross borders, armies don't. If we get rid of tariffs, if we stop banning cotton and farm products from poor countries because of our ridiculous agriculture laws, we trade with people. That makes people like us.
So I
like you more because you put me on your show.
Okay. So here's what makes which is interesting. That whenever I hear somebody like you or with these kinds of ideas, they all sound great. Like, I agree legalizing everything, but then I know what the effects of, because I used to do cocaine and so on. There's an epidemic of alcoholism in this country, so on. So I see the effects of it, but it sounds good going in until you hear the other side, and then so there really are two sides to all of these things, and it's difficult to figure out somebody to get in the middle where it makes sense. Or do you see what I mean?
I used to be in the middle until I became a libertarian, and now the one side makes sense.
Really?
And yes, I agree. More people would try cocaine or heroin, and some would get addicted. But we have laws. I mean, alcohol is legal. We have alcoholism. We have laws against cocaine. We have people addicted to it now.
Well, like cigarettes. Cigarettes are legal, and look what they do to people.
Right. So. But, I mean, Holland, Portugal have decriminalized. There's no increase in abuse or violence. People aren't endlessly stupid. Some will get hooked. Most will not.
No. So what's coming up on your show?
Thursday, I'm doing energy. What are we going to do with we're scared of nuclear power now? And there's this new natural gas movie out that shows people's drinking water catching fire. And turns out that wasn't caused by drilling for natural
Remember
gas.
when the Cuyahoga River out in Ohio caught fire?
Yeah.
Cleveland, yeah.
And we libertarians say government should be limited, but pollution control is a reason government should exist, and they have cleaned up the rivers. That's good.
So what sort of energy do you support?
Natural gas. We don't need nuclear anymore because natural gas got so cheap thanks to this new technique.
Isn't that what Boone Pickens, isn't he a natural gas guy? Or?
He is, but he wants government to help him out.
Yeah.
He's not rich enough already. He wants government to build natural gas pumps.
I like old Boone, but he's no fool. So, well, nice to meet you, and thanks for being so nice to me and the program and all that, and I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for taking the time to come in. John Stossel is 12 minutes here.